to another week of Thursday Thoughts. I have some more special guests with me this week. Do you want to tell them your name?
I'm Lucas.
Lucas and?
I'm Carrie.
And Carrie. And who have we got here?
I'm Baby.
And your baby?
I'm Baby.
And your baby. And who else have we got?
Roo!
Cheeky Roo is here with us
The
again.
kangaroo!
The kangaroo has been at your house, hasn't he? What has he been up to at your house?
Well, every time we go for a walk and cycle, we cycle and then he bounces into my...
And he jumps in there because that's how kangaroos go in their mummies. Wee pouch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just likes it in there. I heard you were baking something with Roo. What were you baking?
Gingerbread man.
Gingerbread. And did Roo like them?
And what he always dumps right on my face when I'm cycling.
What? Oh my goodness, honestly, he's cheeky, this Roo. But have you had good fun with him at your house? Yeah. Maybe some of the other boys and girls will get him at their house next. And will they be cheeky at everybody's house? Yeah, excellent. Well, we're here because we're going to read the next chapter of our story. We're on, do you know what chapter we're on? 4. We're on chapter 4. So you guys are going to listen. Is Roo going to listen? Is he? What about Baby? Is Baby going to listen to the story? Yep, all ready to listen. Are you guys ready to listen? We've got chapter 4 of our story. And last time we had Abraham and Isaac, and we had Jacob and Esau, and we had lots and lots of sons, and one of them was called Judah. And those were all in chapter 3. Yeah, those were all chapter 3. And now chapter 4. Can you see the pictures?
Yep.
Yeah, you might need to turn your neck a wee bit because we need to make sure all the boys and girls at home can see too, can't we?
Yeah.
So let's see what happens in this next chapter, okay? It says, several hundred years after God's promise to Abraham, it looked like things had gotten way off track. When God told Abraham to leave his home, he promised to give him a new land in Canaan. It was going to be a great land. It was supposed to remind God's people of the garden they once had. It would be sweet and refreshing with plenty of milk and honey. Do you like milk? Do you like honey? So this land is going to have lots of milk and honey in it. That's strange, isn't it?
I would eat a whole tin of,
a whole tin of honey.
Yeah.
All by yourself.
Yeah.
Well, this land is going to have lots of milk and honey in it. But listen to this. Abraham and his sons never really possessed the land they were promised. So they never really got to be in the land that they were promised. And now it was 400 years later. That's a big number, isn't it? Do you think you could count to 400?
Once I counted to 700.
700? Well, that's even more than 400. And they were slaves in Egypt. Do you know what a slave is?
Yep.
What?
And there's a movie that has that.
The Prince of Egypt?
Yeah,
and they're all slaves in it. That's right. This is what this is talking about.
Yeah, and they never ever get a break.
I know, they have to work and work and work so hard. So this is what Abraham's family are having to do. Look what's next. How Abraham's family got to Egypt is a long story. But here's the short version. Are you ready? They got to Egypt because there was a famine in Canaan. That means there was no food for them to eat. And when they got to Egypt, Jacob's sons found their long lost brother Joseph, who helped get them food and a place to live, even though he was there because his 10 older brothers were so jealous that they sold him into slavery after they almost killed him for a fancy coat. I told you it was a long story. When delivering them from the famine, there was one thing. That's when Israel's family was still pretty small. Israel, by the way, was Jacob's new name. I guess everyone needed 2 names back then. But hundreds of years later, the family was huge. How many people are in your family? 4? Well, there was loads and loads and loads in this family.
This is a good thing.
Yeah.
This is on chapter 4.
And there's 4 in your family.
Yeah.
That's right. How would God save a couple of million people from slavery? It's not like he could just turn the Nile River into blood and send frogs and gnats and flies and disease and boils and hail and locusts and darkness and death until the king of Egypt let them go. Actually, that is what God did.
What?
Look at all the things that God sent to try and get the people
Also,
out of slavery.
Moses also did the blood.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about here. All the plagues God sent. So what was there? They turned the river into blood, sent frogs and gnats and flies and disease and boils and hail and locusts and darkness and death onto the king of Egypt. Let the people go. Oh, let's see. Oh my goodness, what's happening now?
That must be ice flying up and...
Yeah, fire. I think it's fire and maybe a big cloud. Maybe. Let's see what it says. God raised up Moses. That's who you were just talking about. To deliver his people. But in reality, God did the work. He sent the plagues and he led the people with, look what it is, fire and cloud. He made the sea turn to dry land so the Israelites could walk through, and he turned the dry land back to sea when the Egyptians tried to cross. It seemed that no matter what the Israelites did, that everyone else did to them, God always found a way to save his people. And that's it, because there's chapter 5 ready to start for next week. So the people were set free, weren't they? Didn't God save his people in the end? Fantastic. Well, that was the end of our chapter, and on Sunday, whenever I'm up in church, we'll try and understand this story a little bit more, and we'll see what is really happening here in the biggest story. Sound good?
Yeah, but Susie, I don't think we'll be doing crafts on Sunday.
I just don't know. I'll have to think of some crafts to go with the plagues. That might be a wee bit crazy, won't it? We'll have to just wait and see, won't we?
I thought it would be next.
Maybe. Yeah,
That's
I know this
next
Sunday. Right, do you want to say bye to everybody on the video?
Bye.
Say bye.